Hello guys and welcome to this video. Today I've got yet another Seiko 5 Sport. So I've gone into the habit of making these videos before I modify these watches, so I thought why not continue it. So any new models that perhaps I've not seen before or you guys at home might not have seen before, I will be sharing with you as I go. Now this is the reference SRPD59K1. And this is the sort of new version of the orange dial SKX. Now they've gone for some interesting colors here, which I'll discuss as we go, and I'll explain what we're going to do to it. And of course at the end of this video I'm going to share with you that outcome. I'm really quite excited for that though, so do stay tuned and please support me by hitting that subscribe button. I am trying to get to 1,000 subscribers soon, and your support is really valued, so thanks to you if you are a subscriber already. If not, please help me out, and you're going to see a lot of cool watches on this channel. Now the star of the show here is that dial. Now interestingly, in this newer update it is a little bit sunburst. It's kind of hard to show you, and I've actually taken it outside as well. And it does pop a bit more outside, but it's not overpowering. It doesn't look cheap. That's the thing I was worried about. Does it look like, I don't know, like a high-vis jacket or something? And it's certainly very legible, certainly very bright, but it isn't cheap looking. So it does have a bit of a sunburst effect, but it's not overpowering. So that is a thumbs up point from me. Something that I was a little concerned about on this model. Looking around the watch, I've reviewed a bunch of these, so I'm not going to bore you with the details if you've seen them before, but it is the updated sort of SKX line. So we've got a much the same case, much the same bezels and everything like that. So dials are slightly different. So one thing I was curious about was actually the markers, and I am curious about why they chose certain colors on this. I guess it's more of a tradition there, but now we'll start with the dial itself. It is a sunburst orange, of course, and the markers are applied. The Seiko logo, the text at the top, and the surrounds of the markers are actually a gunmetal gray, rather than a silver or a rose gold or something else. They are definitely a darker shade of metal, so I would definitely call it a gunmetal color. The chapter ring outboard is matching the dial quite well. Different material I expect, so it's going to look a slightly different shade of orange, but black markers all the way around. Now the hands, this part confuses me a little bit. The hands themselves are, as far as I can tell, rose gold. I don't believe they're yellow gold. It's often hard to tell on Seiko dials, unless you actually take the hand off and compare it to something else. And the lume looks a little bit pink to me, but I'm thinking, is that because it is simply reflecting from underneath, and the sort of lume strip in the middle of the hand is actually showing through. Now if I put the minute hand over the marker there, or better still over the date, I think that is what's happening there. So the hands aren't actually pink, they are just sort of showing a bit of that orangey lume coming through, but they are a rose gold color. So outboard we've got the bezel, which is an aluminium bezel, again with golden markers. Again, I would call this more of a rose goldish color, but those hands, yeah, I would definitely say they are rose gold. Now I'm doing this video as well for other people looking to modify these watches, because it's not always clear to see from stock photos what these colors are, and there are parts available in various colors. The bezel is a standard Seiko bezel. This one's quite quiet but defined, easy to use, easy to turn. You know, everything lines up mostly. I think the chapter ring does appear to line up in all the right spots. The crown is push-pull. We've got manual wind, stop seconds, and let's get the date sorted. You can obviously quick set the date and so on. Let's take it off this thing. So it's got that, I think this one only comes in one configuration, I could be wrong, but it was definitely only available here in this model code with this oyster style bracelet. Thing I don't like with Seiko is they never taper anything, so this really doesn't look great, especially if you've got a bigger wrist. I find that these bracelets do not really, they're not that aesthetically pleasing in this shape. They're not bad bracelets, they're perfectly wearable. They've got hollow links, which is just a cost-cutting thing. These might get a bit bent and squashed over time, so it's not ideal, but on the wrist, these bracelets are actually okay. The problem is in the design of it. You know, I think all bracelets, all straps, period, should be tapered. So this, let's have a look what else do I need to tell you. I think that's it basically. So it's 42.5mm diameter, 22 size lugs. No really any other differences from any of the previous ones I've looked at. You can find all those on my channel. The star of the show here is that dial, and we are going to make that remain as the key element of this build. For my friend here in Dubai, if you're looking for a watch, by the way, a custom watch made in Dubai, I can help you out. Just look for @SeikoMODS Dubai on Instagram. Now, what are we going to do to this build, to this mod, to this watch? What we are firstly going to do is get rid of the things I don't personally like on it, and the owner agrees, and that is those hands. That is this bezel insert, the bezel itself is going to be changed too, and the chapter ring. And of course we're going to put sapphire crystal on it. So the key problems with this watch as it is for me is those hands really, I can't really see how they suit this watch. Those colors, they would have been far better off getting rid of all the gold and just using gunmetal gray colored hands, in my opinion. Likewise with this bezel insert, it just doesn't work with those markers to me. Those markers are definitely gunmetal gray. Why is there no gunmetal gray anywhere else? Now, the chapter ring as well, we are probably going to switch that for either a black chapter ring or a brushed chapter ring. And of course, we are going to change the strap, and that's going to be a nice Namoki oyster style bracelet. So it's actually going to look very similar, but it's much higher quality, and it's got that all important taper. So those are the key things we decided on, and it's basically taking this watch's good points, which is that bright dial. And I know bright dials are the in thing at the moment. Rolex just released their new line of Oyster Perpetuals. They're all really brightly colored dials. I know this is a trend in the watch world at the moment to have a fairly simple colored case, but a bright dial. So this is the kind of look we're going for. The bezel insert is going to be a Yacht-Master style. We've not quite decided if it's going to be silver or black yet, but this is going to look awesome. And we are going for Mercedes hands in the middle too. You'll find most of my mods will have Mercedes hands. I think they just look the best. Yes, I know it's a Rolex copy, but to be honest, they do generally look the best in my opinion. But yes, this is mainly a video to show off the dial first and then show what this watch could be with just a few choice mods. So here's the watch, guys. This is all finished, freshly modified this week. The whole process was fairly straightforward. All the parts fit beautifully. We've got mostly DLW parts apart from the crystal and the Namoki oyster bracelet on this one. So DLW and Namoki, great mod shops for your parts. Please check them out if you want to do something like this. Now, the dial is the centerpiece of this mod and this watch generally. It looks now a bit more sunken in, much like the Rolex style watches, with that brushed chapter ring going all the way around, adding a bit more depth. But in day-to-day wear, it's not overpowering because it is that brushed finish and not a polished one or a bright one, for example. The hands are DLW gunmetal gray hands, which we Initially thought would match the markers a bit better, because on the markers on this dial are a slight gunmetal grey colour. They are a bit darker, but the lume matches well, and I think they match the actual logo and the printing a bit better as well. It just gives a bit more contrast, especially from a distance. Less, they are still polished, so you know, in certain lights they just look silver anyway, but the yeah, the legibility is definitely there, and this is similar or somewhat similar to some of the original Seiko orange dial models with more dark colors on the dial. But yeah, the star of the show is definitely that dial. So other parts we've added is the deep sea bezel from DLW, the silver ceramic Yacht-Master insert, and really nice action on this one, really nice and tight. Feels a lot more high quality than you might imagine. So make sure you get a good gasket in there. I've had to use a slightly thicker gasket to get this action, but this is much more satisfying to use now. One little tip with these Yacht-Master bezels, they do pick up marks and fingerprints quite easily on that rough sort of surface. The polished surface is very easy to keep clean actually, but the matte finish there, the best thing for that is an eraser. So if you just rub an eraser over it once in a while, it'll clean it right back up. Of course, ceramic is not going to be scratched very easily, neither is the sapphire. Nice double dome sapphire crystal fits perfectly with this insert as well. I went for an NamokiMODS sapphire here simply because we couldn't get clear AR from DLW, but that was, you know, the crystal's equivalent in my opinion. The case is the same, crown and case back are all standard. Only other thing is the bracelet, so I'll quickly show you that. And this is the NamokiMODS Oyster style bracelet, which I have reviewed before. Quite nice finishing, very good fit on the standard spring bars. If you're using it for a Seiko 5 Sport, just use the standard spring bars that came with the watch. Looking around, unsigned clasp, which I quite like. They're pretty decent quality clasps as well. As far as I can tell, this is almost identical, if not the same as a strap code bracelet. And because you're probably buying mod parts from Namoki anyway, it's quite easy to add these to your cart as well. I feel like a salesman for them, but actually I just love their products. And the price of the bracelet is around $67, I think. So actually quite reasonable for what you're getting. Solid end links there. You can see I've still got the sticker on the case back. That's where it looks a little rough. But yeah, this went really, really well, and I'm dead pleased with how this came out. Let me know, of course, in the comments what you think. Have we improved the watch? Have we spoilt it? I have a feeling most people would agree that this is a huge improvement over the standard watch. And yeah, there's lots of opportunities to mod the bezels further, you know, get a completely different look, a darker look as well if you just change one part now. So yeah, this is going to be a long-lasting watch, I think, and definitely a classy design, taking cues from perhaps some of the recent trends in the watch world with the bright dials and fairly plain cases and silver colors. So really pleased with this model. Let us know what you think. If you're interested in ordering a watch yourself, and especially if you're in Dubai or the UAE, check out @SeikoMods Dubai on Instagram. That is my page there. You'll see all of my latest mods, including some that don't make it to YouTube. So please check that out. Thanks for your time, guys. Appreciate it. And please subscribe. I would love to get 1,000 subscribers before the new year. That's a little challenge I set at the beginning, so help me out. Okay, have a great day, and I'll see you next time.